Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up on the news tonight, the Huskers talk about moving on after Saturday's heartbreaking loss. Also, what to do about prison overcrowding here in Nebraska. But first tonight.
There's no reason to think that overdose deaths are just an isolated city phenomenon.
A closer look at addiction in rural Nebraska. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Rod Fowler. Megan has the night off. Let's talk about overdoses. It's a big problem, even in Nebraska. And UNL is working on research to try and help those who are struggling. Channel 8's Ariana Martinez spoke with two professors and what they hope will come out of this research. Ariana?
Rod, one professor explained that so much information is focused on some of the larger cities or in other states, and they realized there was a lack of information about what is happening right here in Nebraska. So they're working hard to change that. Addiction and drug overdoses plaguing much of the nation. Nebraska is no different. To help combat this problem, UNL has received a $12 million grant to set up a center to try and make a difference.
The goal of this funding mechanism is to actually set a foundation for a center that will go on and on. Now, you would hope that we could solve, right, and rural drug addiction issues and drug addiction more generally. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, so a long-term sustained center will be important.
The reason the project needs to be long-term is so treatment and resources can continue to evolve.
We're going to have yoga instructors involved in because we're doing some kind of therapies and stuff, looking into new kinds of approaches to helping sort of adjunct treatment and everything. So that's one of our major goals. We spend a lot of effort trying to get this information out to everybody who needs it.
Findings have already been shared with the FBI, and moving forward will be shared with anyone involved to better the resources for rural America.
Further out you get from these larger cities, the further out you get from a concentration of a variety of services. So when we're thinking about smaller towns or villages, you might just have one spot, and if you're lucky with it's in 20 minutes. And you have to hope that that treatment center has the care that you need and that fits what you're trying to do.
NARCAN is a medication that can reverse the effects of an overdose and save a life. There are a few locations in our area offering it for free.
There's NARCAN available for free at Kohl's Drugs on 27th, Hy-Vee on O Street, and at the U-Stop in Waverly.
Students play a huge role in this $12 million research project as they are collecting data and working on the front lines at recovery facilities in the area. This project is in the beginning stages, and the hopes is that it would continue for years to come and delivers the right information to people and organizations to better serve those in the rural community who are struggling with drugs.
All right. Wish them the very best on this research and the center. Thank you so much, Ariana. Let's take a look at crime news now. A driver crashed into a house after huffing gasoline. Check out this picture. You can't even see the car because the roof of the porch of the house there collapsed. No injuries were reported. Lincoln police say the driver was huffing compressed gas at the time of the crash. The 20-year-old was ticketed for reckless driving and DUI. Let's get to your Monday first forecast now. Chief Meteorologist John Dissauer standing by, and not a bad way to start off the work week.
No, not bad at all. Lots of sunshine across the area and temperatures warming into the upper 70s. We officially made it to 78 degrees today in Lincoln. I looked back to see how warm this day is compared to previous days on this for this date. Well, last year we were at 88 degrees, so nowhere near as that warm, but still very comfortable across the area today. It's 76 right now in Lincoln, 76 as well in Beatrice, and 75 degrees in Grand Island. So pretty quiet conditions across the area. There is some rain that's just off to the east. We had a few light showers earlier today down in the southeast corner of the state. Widen the view out and show you what's going on in the upper levels of the atmosphere as well as at the surface. Strong severe thunderstorms, even tornadoes being reported across to Illinois and Indiana as we go towards the evening hours, but we are watching the system that's out to the west. We've been talking about it since it was over northeastern China. It is now digging into the Rockies and will bring us some warmer temperatures tomorrow, some stronger winds, but also the potential for some stronger thunderstorms. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk of severe weather outlooked for tomorrow evening into tomorrow night and through early Wednesday morning for portions of Nebraska, with the main threat being some damaging winds. As we go through the rest of this evening, though, clear skies, 73 degrees by 6 o'clock, 63 degrees by 8 and 56 degrees by 10 o'clock. We'll start to time out thunderstorms for tomorrow, but we're also going to see a lot of sunshine throughout the day. We'll talk about all that, and it's going to finally start to feel like fall. We'll talk all about that coming up in just a few minutes.
We knew it had to get here sooner or later,
That's
right? Thank you, John. Today marks the first Indigenous Peoples Day across the country, and this morning there was a celebration at the State Capitol building here in Lincoln. The event included a performance by the Tribal Color Guard at the flag dedication ceremony. It recognized Native Americans' strength and significance to the state of Nebraska. After the flag dedication, there was a sculpture dedication as well as a powwow hosted by the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska. Well, today also marks Day of the Girl, and a Lincoln North Star grad is using her voice and her story to combat worldwide issues so many women face.
Child marriage was basically rising globally due to the pandemic. Girls were not able to go to school, which was usually the platform to keep them safe and prevent them from getting into child marriage, early child marriages. So I decided to talk about that and share my opinion.
Nebris and her family moved to the U.S. in 2015 after ISIS was working to take over Iraq. Now she is a part of an organization called Assembly that brings women from all over the world together to share their stories and aim to make a difference when it comes to the way women are treated in foreign countries. We're going to have much more on her story coming up tonight on our newscast at 6 o'clock. Let's take a minute here and talk about our prisons here in Nebraska and the overcrowding problem. Channel 8's Alexis Koneski has more on that story as we cover Nebraska.
State officials said in the beginning of the year they're looking at criminal justice reform through a data-driven study to help deal with overcrowding in prisons across the state. A new state penitentiary was talked about because they say the current one is reaching the end of its useful lifetime. It was asked whether legalizing marijuana would be a better route to reduce prison populations, but Ricketts shot that down, saying he believes marijuana would lead to more crime and risk to public safety, therefore causing more crowding. Last month, Nebraska Department of Correction employees even spoke out on the situation inside. With overcrowding comes a worry for their life.
An inmate put his foot in front of the door. I gave him the directive to move the foot. He did not. I quoted policy and procedure. He would not listen. The next thing I know, he was beating me.
Alexis Koneski reporting for us tonight. Now, on top of the overcrowding, the prisons are still dealing with staffing shortages as well. We're going to have more on that part of the story coming up at 6 o'clock. The Huskers talking to the media today. As many of you know, Saturday night had that heartbreaking loss to number 9 Michigan. The team, though, still remaining positive.
Part of it's the work we've put in. Part of it is what I saw today in practice, what I saw the week after we lost to Michigan State. This team knows how to battle. They do. And we still, despite our record, know how good of a team we are and what we're capable of. We still have some big games on the schedule, and the biggest one's Minnesota. Lucky enough, we play in a great conference where each week is another great opponent. And these guys are ready, ready to answer the call, and we haven't given up on each other.
People have been reading, people call us the best 3-4 football team. Why can't we be the best, 5-1 football team or 6-1? I don't even know the math at this moment, but nothing that happened in the past is we can't change anything that's happened. So all we got now is try to be 1-0 after this week.
And if you were at the game, you have to admit there was a certain type of electricity in the air at Memorial Stadium Saturday night. Check out this view of the light show between the third and fourth quarter. Now I have AC/DC in my head here. Yeah, wow. This is from the Nebraska State Patrol helicopter. The sound is actually from an officer on the field, and they put the two together, the video and the sound. Awesome. Again, everyone was so pumped up Saturday night. Many said it kind of felt like the good old days of Husker football. Hopefully much more of that to come. And we now have an interview with the man who found the missing toddler in Texas after 4 days alone in the woods. We're going to have that coming up after the break. Also an update on those Oklahoma storms and tornadoes. We'll be right back.
When your home feels clean and happy,
A happy ending in a story of a missing boy in Texas, the 3-year-old missing for 4 days. His mother, of course, terrified of what might have happened to him. Well, tonight, the man who found him talking exclusively to ABC News.
Greeted with claps and cheers, a Texas mother holding her son again after he vanished into the woods near their home for 4 anguishing days. 3-year-old Christopher Ramirez released from the hospital Monday, escorted by the very law enforcement officers who searched tirelessly.
Gracias a Dios.
He's doing well. Thank God.
Tim Hoffman, the man who police say found the boy on Saturday, talking exclusively with ABC's Marcus Moore about the discovery.
Christopher, is that you? And then he speaks again. I'm like, whoa, like, praise God.
Hoffman told police he heard about the missing boy during a Bible study. Concerned, he set out to search on his own. Police say Hoffman found Christopher Ramirez Saturday morning in the woods about 5 miles from the boy's home.
When I picked him up, he was still talking. He wasn't shaking. He wasn't nervous. The things I would expect. Maybe he just sensed, I've been found. I don't know.
The toddler wandered away after chasing a family dog into the woods as they returned home from the grocery store. His disappearance sparking a frantic round-the-clock search, authorities using drones, search dogs, and even the help of the FBI. That mission coming to a miraculous end once Hoffman says he spotted Chris between the trees and brush and then alerted police.
Child was found alive. He is alive. He's thirsty. He's with his mother, and he's going to the hospital.
I mean, it just sounds so unreal. You know what I'm saying?
I think the story is do not give up hope.
And Christopher's mother says he's doing great. She says God put everyone on this path for a reason. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Can you imagine if you're a parent going through all of that? Again, a happy ending. From Texas to Oklahoma now, officials are surveying the damage today. After nasty storms hit the state yesterday.
Just scared the Chickasha, right in the inflow notch here, outflow here, wrapping around. And this is the inflow notch of the storm right here.
Yeah, at least 5 tornadoes were reported Sunday throughout Oklahoma. A possible tornado hit a Tulsa suburb late Sunday. It caused major damage to a high school and some homes. Now, the majority of the damage, though, came from hail, especially in the Norman area. Reports of baseball-sized hail. The good news, there were no reports of deaths or injuries.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist John Dissauer.
And around here, lots of sunshine this afternoon, really late this morning as well, after some early morning clouds and a couple of very light showers as you headed down towards Pawnee County. Otherwise, a live look from Honda of Lincoln looking off to the south and west. You can see beautiful blue skies outside with no clouds around. Temperatures made up to 78 degrees this afternoon in Lincoln. 76 degrees is our current temperature in Lincoln. And by the way, our normal high temperature on this date, 69. So this goes into the books well above normal. Our 16th consecutive day of above normal temperatures. And that is the longest streak we've had going back to January of this year when we had up to 18 days. Now this evening we've got dry air in place. Dew points are only in the 30s, so once the sun sets, temperatures will start to drop pretty quickly. We'll be down into the lower to middle 40s for most of us, upper 40s as you head down towards the Nebraska-Kansas state line tomorrow morning. Showing you the big picture of the satellite and radar composite with some upper level winds mixed in. And we've got severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings from Illinois to Indiana. This is the weather system that brought the clouds and the very light showers. If you were watching football last night, you may have noticed the Kansas City game having the rain and the big delay. Well, that's all because of this upper level low moving off to the northeast. That's moving away from us and is not a problem anymore. We are now watching this area of low pressure moving down through Nevada and into the Rocky Mountains. This is the storm last Monday. I showed you the energy coming off moving through northeastern China. It has moved across the Pacific and is now moving down into the western United States and will begin to exit and bring us a chance for showers and thunderstorms as we go into tomorrow night and into early Wednesday morning. Also ahead of that, we'll keep some mild temperatures around. We'll start out in the 40s in the morning. By noon, we're going to see sunny skies. Temperatures climbing back up to right around 70 degrees. So we're already besting our normal high for this time of year. Now, as we go through the afternoon, we may start to see some clouds coming in. I still think we're talking mostly sunny skies by 3 o'clock. Temperatures will be able to get back up into the upper 70s. Mid 70s out towards Grand Island and Hastings, upper 70s from Lincoln down towards Beatrice. You'll notice the wind arrows moving a little faster. We'll have winds sustained 5 to 15 or make that 18 miles per hour tomorrow with some gusts 25 to 30 miles per hour. You'll see that on Stormcast looking at the winds out of the southeast, and we'll have winds gusting especially out towards the Central Plains even higher, perhaps up to 40 miles per hour by late afternoon. In the Lincoln area, we're looking at 27 mile per hour gusts by 5 o'clock. As we head into the evening, we'll keep the winds up. In fact, we are expecting showers and thunderstorms to start to move in as we go Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. And with that, we'll keep the winds, just the normal sustained winds up. But with some of the thunderstorms, we could have some gusts of 50 to 55, maybe even 60 miles per hour overnight. Stormcast will show you as we head towards the evening tomorrow. We'll start to watch thunderstorms developing out to the west. This will develop into a line and quickly move off to the east. By midnight, we can see these thunderstorms from Greeley to Grand Island, Hastings down towards Red Cloud. And the main threat along this line will be some strong damaging winds. These will keep moving off to the east, starting to move towards Lancaster County by about 2 o'clock in the morning. So anywhere between 2 and 4, I think we could hear that line of thunderstorms moving through the area. Beyond that, once it moves eastward, we may have a few lingering showers initially Wednesday morning, but we'll have the dry slot moving in, and we'll see lots of sunshine as we go throughout the day on Wednesday. And I think we may be able to recover our temperatures just a little bit, but it's going to be a windy day on Wednesday as well. So the main threat from thunderstorms tomorrow night into Wednesday morning will be wind. We can't rule out the chance for some hail or even an isolated tornado, and I think the flooding risk is pretty small. 7-day forecast. Behind this weather system, it's going to feel more like fall. 65 degrees for a high Thursday. Look at some of the morning lows coming our way. Not out of the question, we could have first frost of the year for some of you happening as early as Saturday morning and Sunday morning with temperatures into the mid-30s. We start to rebound towards the second half of the weekend and the beginning of next week. Then highs perhaps only in the 50s. As we get to the middle of next week.
All right. Thank you, John. Have you been to the gas pumps recently? Prices have nearly doubled in 17 months. The national average price for gasoline hit a 7-year high today. For unleaded, the average is $3.27 a gallon. Also today, crude oil was on track to finish above $80 a barrel for the first time in 7 years. And speaking of traveling, more problems for Southwest Airlines. It went from the weekend into today. In fact, today canceling hundreds more flights. So what's going on? ABC's Faith Abube reports.
Tonight, frustrated passengers left stranded at airports across the country struggling to find a way out.
I'm trapped and I got a business to run back home.
Southwest Airlines canceling another 360 plus new flights Monday and delays for more than 1,000 others and growing, more than a quarter of its schedule.
The flight was canceled when we were already at the gate, so we had already checked our bags.
And then we find out that there's no hotel, no cars.
Since Saturday, Southwest has canceled more than 2,000 flights. The cancellations forcing many to miss work, vacations, and even crucial doctor's appointments.
They told me, you gotta be here, because otherwise just next year.
Fabricia Amara describing what the missed flight could mean for her 14-year-old daughter's neurosurgery appointment. Southwest continues apologizing for the operational meltdown, blaming in part bad weather and air traffic control problems. But the FAA pushing back, saying no air traffic staffing shortages have been reported since Friday. The flight tracking website FlightAware also showing no other major U.S. carrier is dealing with anywhere near as many delays and cancellations as Southwest. Meanwhile, thousands of passengers just want Southwest to get them to their final stop.
We both have to go back to work, and we have kids at home, so we got to make some plans.
And the Southwest travel troubles come as its pilot union is suing the airline over its COVID vaccine mandate policy. But the union says the cancellations and the delays have nothing to do with any pilot action. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
From the sky to the waters, for over a year, cruise ships have been docked due to the pandemic. Well, now San Francisco is open for cruising. In fact, today the first cruise ship arrived at the port for the first time since March of 2020. Passengers have to be vaccinated and show a negative COVID test result within 2 days of boarding. Now the port is expecting 21 cruises to arrive in the remainder of this year and a record amount come next year. Sam's Club is offering a new wine delivery option. For now, the program will only be offered in 16 states, and that includes Nebraska. It's part of several plans the store has for the upcoming holiday shopping season. Customers can only choose wine, though, from the store's private Members Mark brand. Let's take a look at Wall Street today. The Dow Jones, more than 250 points down. NASDAQ dropped 93. We'll be right back.
This week, the hundreds of thousands of jobs.
Finally tonight, a rare find from one of baseball's legends brings in the bucks, while Florida police make a find of their own. And not all calendar girls have two legs. Check out these stories, and tonight's Take a Look at This.
An autographed photo of baseball great shoeless Joe Jackson sold for a record price at a recent auction. The lucky new owner paid an eye-popping $1.47 million for the picture taken of Jackson at a training camp in Alexandria, Louisiana back in 1911. That's the most ever paid for a signed sports photo. Auction house Christie's says what makes this item so unique is that Jackson couldn't formally read or write. This is currently the only known signed photo of him. The Brevard County Sheriff's Department taking to Facebook to help reunite someone with, get this, their 770 pounds of marijuana. The lost high-grade pot was found in a storage facility in Vieira, Florida. The cheeky social media post asks the rightful owner to come forward and claim their weed. And since it's worth about $2 million, the sheriff's office promises to keep the owner and their property in a, quote, secured area so no one can rip them off. But I have a feeling that comes with a county-issued jumpsuit. There are calendar girls, then there is Angel. This miniature zebu cow was born with rear leg deformity, but that doesn't stop her from strutting around the Iowa Farm Sanctuary in her wheelchair, greeting all her adoring fans. This bovine beauty can be seen in the 2022 Walkin' Pets calendar that raises money for the Handicapped Pets Foundation. For Take a Look at This, I'm Steve Nannis.
Very nice. All right, John's going to have an update on the weather at 6 o'clock. We'll have news and sports as well.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Hey, neighbor, I thought you got something to keep the leaves and debris out of your gutters. Oh no, you got them fancy smanchy surgical mesh filters on your gutters. With all this